I got a BPAL order in quite a while ago. I would say like last month. So I've had them for a couple weeks and I've been using them. So I wanted to be able to like give you guys a review and let you know what I think of the scents that I ordered. And also just give you like a general overview of buying from BPAL, which is Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab if you haven't heard of them before. Just kind of give you an idea of how to navigate their site, how to order if you're using PayPal, that kind of thing, because what I found was that it was very, very confusing and it took me a lot of research and a lot of time to kind of figure out how to order through their website. It's not that hard, I guess, if you just use a credit card, but if you do want to pay through PayPal, which is what I like to do when I order online, it is a little bit more of a hassle. So I'll try to go through and explain that and link some stuff for you guys so it's not quite as daunting if you want to order from them. Your best bet is if you're looking for a specific scent, they don't have a search engine feature on their website. And on the left-hand side, they have all of these Latin-sounding categories or really hard to understand names and titles of their categories. So I recommend going on the forums, kind of getting a feel of the site from other people that are fans of BPAL, that have already categorized the scents. They can tell you where to find them, or just Google certain scents. So that's the way I like to do it. So the first scent I have is Scherezade, and I got this one just because it's different than anything I have in my collection. I was trying to branch out, try different things, because I'm making my own perfumes too, and I kind of just like to test out different scent notes to see what I like, maybe what I like to work with in my own perfumes. So this one sounded interesting to me. They spell Scheherazade different than the traditional spelling of it, but that's what it looks like. And the imps come with these little labels. And what imps are, they're just these little sample bottles that come with wands. I would say you probably get like 5 to 10 uses out of these, depending on how much you apply. The description is a master storyteller who possessed unfailing courage and compassion, a sharp, quick wit, and a true understanding of human nature. Saffron and Middle Eastern spices swirled through central red musk. So again, that just sounds really exotic and interesting to me, and maybe something that I wouldn't normally purchase full size, but just something I wanted to test out. And I'll do a snifferoo again, but I remember I didn't really like this one. And I had my husband sniff all these, and he didn't like this one either. It has something slightly off about it. I don't know what it is. Like, I love incense, don't get me wrong. I love spicy scents. I love incense, like sandalwood, patchouli. I like those earthy kind of scents, but there's just something almost plasticky smelling about this one. I don't know what it is. I did find that it did smell a little bit better as it works into your skin over time. Like, the smell is a little less plastic smelling. It smells a little better. But I personally do not like this one at all. I'm glad I got the sample and didn't purchase full size. So that's not a win for me. The next one is Tweedledum, and this is in their Alice in Wonderland section. I think it's called the Mad Tea Party or something like that. You'll be able to find it. It's one of the more recognizable categories in their on their website. But they're scents that are inspired by Alice in Wonderland. And what I was reading about BPAL in regards to their vegan scents, it sounds like most of their scents are vegan except for those that contain honey and beeswax absolutes. Those are made with real honey and beeswax, so just any scents that say honey or beeswax in them, just avoid. But this one is Tweedledum, and I got it because of spring and summer. I thought it sounded like a really good kind of fruity, fresh kind of smell, and it got pretty good reviews from what I was reading. So this one's green mango, fig, and patchouli and green tea, and I did actually really like this one. Now, it's a little sweet, so almost bordering on bubblegum kind of sweetness. So it's a very young, kind of fresh, girly kind of smell. It's not one that I would wear every day, but in the right mood, in the right setting, it is really nice. I don't get very much patchouli in this. I get a lot of fig, almost a slight cough syrupy smell, but not super strong. And I found that when I wore this one, it really did smell really nice, like as it wore down. I would recommend this one. I might purchase a full size of this someday, but I'm in no rush to do that. I'm not so excited about it that I want to rush out and get it. The next one is their most popular one. That's why I wanted to try it out, and it was also a vanilla blend. So I really enjoy vanilla scents. They're some of my favorite perfumes. They're ones that I find you can wear every day, any season. Vanilla just always smells really nice to me. This comes in either the regular or the aged form. I don't know if they have the aged snake oil right now, but I know it's a more pricey version of this. It's supposed to smell better as it ages, so that might be something to keep in mind if you don't like this right away. Maybe just let it age a little bit. It's supposed to smell a little bit better. It's magnetic, mysterious, exceedingly sexual in nature. And that's another thing about this site. They are a little risque, a little more adult, a little hippie-ish, so if that's a concern for you, just bear that in mind when you're looking through the site. There's some interesting drawings, there's some nudity and things like that, so that personally doesn't bother me, but if that would bother you, just bear that in mind. But onto the scent notes, it's a blend of exotic Indonesian oils sugared with vanilla, so it wasn't bad. Like, it did smell, I mean, it has a nice, it's like a spicy, not super sweet vanilla. Almost like a vanilla musk, if that makes sense. It's not a sugary vanilla at all, so and it did wear pretty well. Like, the throw was good, it lasted a decent amount of time, but again, I wasn't like blown away by it. I've smelled things like this before, I guess, is what I want to. If you're looking for a vanilla that isn't sugary or dessert-like, this one would probably interest you, and it is their most popular perfume. Okay, on to Lorelei. I really did like this one. I'm not a huge floral fan. I like them when they're well blended, and I like certain florals better than others. Like, I really enjoy neroli blossoms, and I like rose sometimes, like tea rose when it's blended really well. I like magnolia. There are certain florals that I enjoy, but I don't like the ones that are very strong and give you a headache. So I thought this one sounded good for spring and summer. It got some decent reviews, and it was blended with sandalwood, so I kind of figured I would enjoy it a little bit more. And it had ylang ylang and neroli. So this one's called Lorelei, and this one's, it says it's based on a tragic heroine from German lore. In despair over a faithless lover, she threw herself into the Rhine. In death, she has become a siren that haunts the river to this day, luring sailors to their doom. So this is neroli, sandalwood, and ylang ylang. And I could see myself purchasing or making a similar perfume for my line. It is a very beautiful floral, and it's very well balanced. It's very fresh. It's very feminine. It's definitely one that would work on lots of different women, I think. It's not an old lady floral. It's a fresh feminine floral. So I would purchase this one full size, and that one's Lorelei. I really did like this one, and I liked it on me. My husband really liked this one too. He likes florals on me a lot. This one was a complete adventurous choice for me. I've never smelled dragon's blood before, which is like this herb. Can't really describe it very well, but it's not actual blood, it's just like a special herb kind of thing. So that's why I picked this one up, and it's called Dragon's Bone. And this one's described as a dry, thin scent of draconic ossuary, dragon's blood resin with white sandalwood, dusty orris, and crisp blonde wood. So again, I wasn't as familiar with the scent notes like dragon's blood and blonde wood, So I thought I would give it a try. And this one I really didn't like. This one's not for me. Oh, yeah, it almost burns like the back of your throat when you sniff it. It just has this weird musty smell, if that makes sense at all. And I think it's just dragon's blood. I think that's just the way it smells. So if you like dragon's blood, again, you might really like this. To me, this was a no-go. This just smelled musty on me and my chemistry, and I just really didn't like that. So that's another thing to keep in mind with perfumes. Your body chemistry plays a lot into whether it smells good on you or not. Bordello is described as a decadent, deep perfume, lusty, and luxuriant. The scent evokes images of velvet-lined Old West cat houses, tightly laced corsets, rustling petticoats, coquettish snarls of pleasure, body plum and amaretto, burgundy wine, and black currant. So, with that description, who wouldn't want to try that out, right? Like, that sounds really good. And I actually did like this one. My husband really likes this one on me. It's not my favorite. Like, it smells like gummy candies. Like, it smells like cherry gummy candies. That's what it smells like to me. Like, back when I used to eat gummy candies. So, I don't really smell a lot of amaretto, which I kind of was hoping for, like a boozy kind of fruit scent, because to me that would scream Old West, saloon, some kind of alcohol-based scent. Some people don't like those scents. I tend to enjoy them, just depending on my mood. I think this one's in Bewitching Brews as well, I want to say. Really a sweet fruit scent, which isn't always my favorite. If you like that, you like kind of fruity, candy, young scents, this is for you. Again, my husband approves of this one. He really likes this one, so maybe on a date you could wear it or whatever. I think it is nice. I don't know if I would get a full size though. So this is kind of like in the middle for me. Like, it's not a bad scent, but it's not my favorite. And that's Bordello. This is from the Wanderlust collection, which is just different countries and just scents that represent those countries. So I kind of think it got thrown into my order. Like, sometimes they'll throw in free samples and stuff like that when you order. Because this one is very simple. Like, this is just tea rose and that's it. And to me, that doesn't really represent London. Maybe if it was a tea scent, like, I know that's kind of on the nose, but when I think of London, I think of tea time. So that's just kind of confusing for me. But I just got a perfume oil in, a tea rose perfume oil, and it smells just like this. So I got a whole 1 ounce bottle of that for like $3. So again, I wasn't that impressed with this one. I mean, I think it's nice to have single note fragrances sometimes, but I think it's kind of nice if the company would list and say, hey, this is an unblended fragrance, and maybe charge a little bit less for it. As far as rose scents goes, I do like tea rose a lot. I think that it's not overpowering or heavy like a lot of rose scents can be. It's a fresh, kind of pretty rose. So overall, my experience with BPAL, I don't know if I would order again with them. I might. They have some really unusual scents, and I think I just need to like experiment more and try different ones. I've heard they're kind of hit or miss from reviews I've read, so I just might have picked some that weren't really for me because I was trying to, you know, experiment and try different scents. So there are some that I'm interested in. Like, I think Juke Joint sounded really good. It's like a mint bourbon kind of fragrance, and they had some Neil Gaiman scents, which are really cool. Like, I think all the proceeds from that go to preserving comic art and things like that. Like, he actually licensed the perfumes and stuff. So that is really cool. Those are a lot more expensive. I think they're like $22, so I didn't get any of those. And they're not included with the sample imp sets. So you can't try those out when you get like a sample imp set. They do have a huge selection of fragrances. Like, it's mind-boggling how many they have. You could spend easily 5 hours just looking at all the scent notes and the stories behind them, and obviously there's a lot of history and research that goes into perfumery, and they really do take it seriously, and that's really cool. You can find fragrances there that you can't find anywhere else. They have really unusual ones that almost sound really weird, like ones that have like metal notes and I don't know, just really bizarre kind of fragrances. So I appreciate the creativity of Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. To me, that is a huge selling point for me. I don't like getting perfumes that I can just get just anywhere, and that's why I'm trying to make my own perfumes too, because I'm really picky about my perfumes. I want them to be really interesting and unique, but not overpowering, so I can wear them during the day. So huge props for their creativity, their inspiration behind their scents. I also really like that a lot of their scents are vegan friendly, which is nice, and they do kind of explain which ones aren't. Like I said, they said on their website which ones weren't, the beeswax and the honey scented ones. A 5 ml bottle from House of Gloy is only $12. And granted, some of their limited edition ones are $15, but again, that's cheaper than like the Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab's regular line, so to me that's, you know, still a super good deal. I know they don't have as many fragrances as BPAL, but I really like the ones that I've ordered from House of Gloy, and their turnaround time is a lot better in my opinion. So BPAL would be one of those like ones that you should experiment with and try out, but like if you really want a fragrance by a certain date, like that, they're not like dependable for that. So and I didn't receive a confirmation email until like right when they were going to ship it. So like I paid through PayPal, and the way you have to pay through PayPal is confusing. Like I think the best advice I can give you is to go to their newbie link. I'll link that in the down bar. It gives you information on how to navigate the site and how to pay using PayPal, and answers basic questions. So I'll link that down below. Yeah, go to your PayPal, and then it has like the link where you send money, and then you have to put their email in. You have to calculate everything yourself, and you have to write down which scents you wanted to try out, and so that can be a little confusing. It took me a long time to figure out how to do it actually, so that's one big negative for me. I don't feel like their website's up to par for how large their company is and how long they've been in business. I think they've been around since like 2000, like the early to mid 2000s, so they've been around quite a while. The month turnaround time was really long, especially for samples. Like I could see that they run out of stuff, like, but for samples you think that would be pretty easy to ship out, at least within like 15 days or something. So that was something I wasn't that happy about. I didn't think their shipping prices were that reasonable. I think mine was like $7, and they were just samples, so I didn't think that was that reasonable. There are a lot of indie fragrance companies. I'm going to be trying out other ones, and of course I'm working on making my own, so bottom line, I would purchase with them, but you just have to keep in mind that it is a little bit of a headache to do so. So I know everyone on here raves about Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab, and I feel kind of bad making this review. Like I kind of debated if I wanted to or not. But I just want to be real with you guys and kind of tell you like my experience with companies, just so you guys know for yourself. I didn't think they were rude. I didn't think they, you know, had bad customer service necessarily, because, you know, they do say on their website it takes a month sometimes. So that is just, you have to read their policies and just decide if you want to wait for that length of time or not. So what else can I say? I really do love perfumes. I feel like I'm pretty qualified to make a review. I smelled so many different ones, and I wear so many different ones. My collection's pretty big, so this is a very honest review and just my opinions. And again, remember, fragrance is personal. What you like, I might not like, and vice versa. So just bear that in mind with this review.